Díogwith a cóide agus fáilte. Good afternoon, friends, and welcome. I'm going to tell you a story about a country in a crisis, a massive crisis, and about how a new organisation was born to both address enormous challenges and deliver ambitious new schemes. That organisation is Irish Water. So let's start with the crisis. The Republic of Ireland is an island surrounded by water with vast numbers of rivers and lakes right across the country. Plus, it rains a lot. Yet, incredibly, Ireland has significant water services issues. Ireland went through an economic boom period from 1997 to 2008. A third of the current total housing stock was built during this period. Large housing estates were developed in semi-urban and rural areas right across the countryside. Billions of euros were spent on housing, telecoms, and new roads, but very little investment, if any, was made into water services. Then, between 2008 and 2012, recession hit the Republic of Ireland, as it did in much of the rest of Europe. Water services in Ireland were in need of a massive overhaul, but the local authorities who had responsibility for the water infrastructure did not have the funding or resources necessary to make the radical improvements necessary. The water crisis in Ireland therefore went from bad to worse. Let me give you some examples to show you just how critical the water services situation had become. Dublin City, the capital of Ireland, was regularly using over 99% of its available water, and water shortages were commonplace, affecting businesses and homeowners. Other parts of the country were without water altogether for lengthy periods of time. A shocking 50% of all water treated was lost in the network through leakage. So 50% of the money spent on water treatment in Ireland literally went down the drain. Some sections of the country were under boil water notices for indefinite periods. This meant that people could not drink the water coming out of their taps, as it didn't meet water safety standards. Due to a population boom, wastewater treatment plants were operating beyond their intended capacity. Consequently, Ireland faced massive fines from the European Union. Almost half of the water network was over 80 years old. Action was needed, and it was needed urgently. In light of the critical state of water services in the Republic of Ireland, the government decided to establish a new national water utility to manage Ireland's water and wastewater infrastructure on a countrywide basis. This new utility would take on this responsibility from 34 councils across Ireland. In parallel, the government decided to install water meters and to introduce water and wastewater charges for domestic and commercial customers right across the country to fund the much-needed investment in the new water infrastructure. At the time, the Republic of Ireland was the only country in the OECD not to charge for domestic water consumption. So for the first time in Ireland, people would receive bills for their water usage. And as you can imagine, this hasn't been popular. The creation of a new national utility is something that happens very rarely in the world nowadays. Our brand new organisation had to be created from scratch to meet the needs of 4 million domestic customers and about 400,000 commercial customers, to deliver water-related services over an area of 70,000 square kilometres, and to manage and extend over 61,000 kilometres of water mains. We had to maintain millions of assets, including half a million water fittings, 148,000 hydrants, and more than 300,000 commercial services. And these were just the ones that we knew about. We had to install 1.5 million water meters as part of a single programme of work which involved 4 million work orders. And we had to manage an initial investment of €1.2 billion. Several groups, agencies and organisations put in bids to run this new national water utility, and Bord Gáis Éireann was successful. So Irish Water was born as part of the Bord Gáis Éireann group. Right from the start, Irish Water knew the importance of having an integrated enterprise GIS, designed specifically for the water industry. And we went about finding the best system for the new organisation. There were lots of different considerations that we had to take into account in the selection process. And ultimately, Irish Water chose the ArcGIS for Water Utilities platform as its enterprise GIS. In fact, I wouldn't be here today in a very warm split if we hadn't. The water utility solution is a comprehensive off-the-shelf system with pre-configured templates, a water data model, and ready-to-go industry applications which cover almost all aspects of a water utilities business. We signed an enterprise license agreement for unlimited software access and drew on the expertise of our local Esri partner, Esri Ireland, and the water industry team at Esri Inc. to help us achieve our goals. ArcGIS for Water Utilities was the perfect fit for Irish Water in many ways, and it has helped us as an organisation in addressing three primary business challenges which we were facing. The first challenge was little time. The Irish government set all of the deadlines for various milestones on this project, and they were extremely tight. The entire business had to be up and running within 12 months, from nothing. So just like our customers wanted to turn on a tap and get clean, fresh water instantly, we had to be able to turn on GIS and enable new business processes straight away. As a commercial off-the-shelf product, ArcGIS for Water Utilities gave us around 90 to 95% of the functionality that we needed, including water and wastewater data models, mapping templates and applications, and the necessary tools for managing and editing water network data. As Jack mentioned, the water utility platform, including all of its online capabilities, enabled us to get started as a business within a very short time frame. We truly embraced the ArcGIS Online platform. This, indeed, was a key enabler of our success. We were able to deploy mobile, desktop, and web-based applications and integrate with our work in asset management systems with hardly any development. In addition, the experts from Esri and Esri Ireland provided invaluable support and guidance throughout our implementation. So you have to remember, no one within this new business had any experience of running a national water utility before, as there hadn't ever been one in Ireland. I myself had many years' experience working with GIS in the gas industry, and I knew the benefits and efficiencies GIS would bring to this new organisation. However, I had never used an Esri GIS solution before, and I'd never worked for a water utility. But because we were a greenfield site organisation with no legacy business processes to maintain or replicate, with ArcGIS for Water Utilities and with professional support, we achieved the impossible. We went live in just 8 months, and we've been successful in ensuring that GIS has become a key Irish water application right across our organisation. The second business challenge we faced was no data, because we didn't have any. Data is the oxygen within a utility, within most businesses, in fact. We started out with no data. No data about assets, no data about customers, no data about business requirements. But from the moment Irish Water was founded, there was huge pressure on the GIS team to get this data in place and to make it fit for purpose. That's because all of the planning for the new utility and all of the new business processes that would be set up needed data. More often than not, in conferences like this one, presenters talk about the challenges of big data or too much data. Our challenge was quite the opposite. We started out with absolutely nothing, and we had to build our knowledge of millions of assets and 4 million customers by consolidating data from 34 local authorities. Today, by leveraging GIS technology and GIS capabilities, I can tell you that we now have an awful lot of very valuable data. And this data is accessible to everyone, everywhere in the business. The ArcGIS for Water Utilities data model was comprehensive and sufficiently open to allow us to pour in water and wastewater asset data from each of the 34 different councils we were taking it from. This asset data varied in completeness, it varied in accuracy, it varied in format, structure, and data models. In fact, there were 11 different formats and systems containing water data, and there were 10 different formats and systems containing wastewater data, all of which had to be captured into our new Irish water data model. On the customer data challenge, we knew we had customers, we just didn't know who they were or where they lived. But with ArcGIS for water utilities, we were able to keep all asset information provided from the local authority source systems. This was a very important consideration for Irish Water. No data was lost while mapping and migrating to the new ArcGIS for water utility data model. The water and wastewater data models were already 85 to 95% of what we needed off the shelf, and they proved highly extendable and configurable, allowing us to capture specific Irish features and attributes. Without this, we would not have been able to deliver on time the solution or create a national set of water and wastewater asset data. When we originally scoped out the project to migrate data from 34 local authorities into one new Irish water data model, we were told it couldn't be done in less than a year, but we did it. With ArcGIS for water utilities and in collaboration with Esri Ireland, we achieved this in 4 months. Not only did we map and migrate data from 34 standalone local authorities in various formats into a new single data model, but we did it ourselves. This means that we now have, as an organisation, a deep understanding about our own data, which parts of the network we have confidence in and which parts of the network we don't have confidence in, allowing us to develop strategies for asset management and for future data capture or data enhancement programs. So now, as part of our GIS implementation, Irish Water has a national view of both water asset and customer data for the first time across multiple applications. The third business challenge we faced was, and still is, high expectations. And these high expectations came from multiple different stakeholders. Customers wanted better water services and exceptional customer service, particularly as they would now be paying for it directly. Councils wanted to see an effective transfer of responsibility to Irish Water and clear processes for managing works. Government ministers wanted to see an end to EU fines and a smooth transition that would not cost them votes in the upcoming elections. And regulators wanted the same high-quality water services for all citizens and would levy fines for infringements. The only way that we, as an organisation, could hope to meet all of these high expectations was to create the most efficient and most effective and most collaborative utility possible. It wouldn't be good enough for us to have good processes. We had to have excellent, streamlined processes and integrated systems. We needed a GIS that would connect and empower all employees and partners, from mobile field workers and customer care agents to local authority planners and asset managers. ArcGIS for water utilities is the perfect platform to help us achieve these expectations. It is scalable, it is interoperable, and it is flexible, and it was designed for us, a water utility. We have started the process of creating apps and integrating GIS with other enterprise systems so that we can easily share our data with employees, mobile workers, contractors, partners, and the public. The GIS platform has enabled us to deliver a wide variety of applications, desktop, web-based, and mobile, to distinct user groups across our organisation. The web-based applications in particular, enabled through ArcGIS Online, have allowed us to extend GIS to end users, including 850 local authority users, 350 customer care agents, and over 150 Irish Water employees working in a wide variety of functions, including asset management, workflow, capital investments, strategic planning, and customer service. That's 1,300 users in just 2 months, and that number is growing every day. So Irish Water has been using GIS fully across the business for just 2 months, but the benefits have been felt immediately. I'd like to take some time now just to go through 5 of the most important benefits that we have been gaining from using GIS. And as I do so, Dermot will demonstrate some of the applications we've developed so far and take us through some of Irish Water's workflows which utilise GIS. The first benefit that I would like to highlight is efficient field operations. From the outset, we knew that we had to include mobile GIS capabilities to enable field workers to view and edit data in the field. The relative ease with which we've implemented this aspect of our GIS solution is most rewarding and impressive. Field workers use mobile GIS applications on handheld devices to view jobs and work orders against the backdrop of mapping and Irish Water assets, while they are in situ, at a customer site or on the roadside. Then when these crews are installing new equipment or carrying out repair work, they can record information about assets, such as changes in the condition or update asset attributes, such as diameter or material or depth of a water main, on their mobile devices using the collector application. And this information goes back into our central GIS database. Field crews can also create new asset data using the collector application. In the past, when local authorities were each responsible for water services in their own areas, mobile engineers used to have to come into the office to collect their work orders. Now they collect their job instructions in the field, saving them time, saving us money, improving our data, and ensuring a faster turnaround for the customer. The collector application, together with the integration of GIS with our work order management system, gives us highly efficient field operations. Dermot will now demonstrate the collector application and a typical workflow.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. Over the next few minutes, I will show you 3 of the business applications being used in Irish Water today. The first of these applications illustrates effective field operations in action. Irish Water field staff use the collector for ArcGIS application. Users of this application can access Irish Water asset data in the field. In addition to viewing and querying data, they can also perform edits. Users can edit, create, and update both attribute and spatial information in situ. This is helping to continually improve the quality of the Irish Water data. In this example, the user is a member of the Field Editing ArcGIS Online group, and members have access to a web map that is designed for their needs. Typically, field operators will use the inbuilt device GPS to locate themselves. As we have no data for split, I'm going to use the standard gesture controls to zoom in on an area of Dublin. At predefined scales, the Irish Water asset infrastructure is displayed on the map. Users can toggle between a series of base maps should they require further context on the site. To retrieve information about the associated asset infrastructure, users can click on the feature to receive the attribute information. Should it be required that they're required to undertake an edit, they can use the edit capabilities to update the associated attribute information. The pick lists are derived directly from the ArcGIS for Water Utilities data model, ensuring that the integrity of the data is maintained. In this instance, the user has identified that the diameter of a water main is incorrect, so I'm going to update to the correct value, which is 4. Should it be required, users can capture an image and associate it with the attachment, and they can update and save the updates, and it updates the central GIS database. So I'll add you back to Paul.
Thanks. The second benefit, The second benefit that I'd like to talk about is positive customer experiences. GIS is now live in Irish Water's Customer Care Centre, where it's fully integrated into the Customer Relationship Management System. 350 customer care agents now use GIS capabilities to validate customer information, to create new customer connections, and to locate reported leaks and incidents on the network. 40% of addresses in Ireland are non-unique. This means that a postcode or an address is not sufficient for itself to allow a call centre agent to identify specific properties. So GIS is absolutely vital in our call centre to validate customer inquiries, pinpoint issues, and send crews directly to the right place the first time. Dermot will now demonstrate the customer web application going through a typical workflow creating new connections.
Thanks, Paul. So the second application today is the Irish Water Customer Care Mapping application. This is the application that is used by the frontline staff who are talking directly to the public. Ease of use and speed were the key considerations in designing this application. The application is deployed using the new ArcGIS web app builder. The app is integrated with Irish Water other business systems like the Irish Water Work and Asset Management system and the customer care and billing. This ensures that customer care agents can access all the data that is required to enable them to respond to queries effectively. On screen now, I will walk you through a couple of practical scenarios. The first query received is, I am building a new house and can I connect to the public water mains? A typical new connection request. In this example, the caller has provided the coordinates of the proposed new development. The customer call agent can input the coordinates and zoom to the location of interest. Once the site has been identified, the customer call agents can toggle between a selection of base maps to get some further context on the site. In this scenario, the public water mains is adjacent to the site in question. Therefore, the customer care agent recommends that the caller proceeds with the standard formal application. I will now share with you a second workflow. In this scenario, a water leak has been detected and is being reported. The caller has provided the postal address, and customer care agents can search by Irish addresses using a specific Irish locator. As referenced by Paul, some 40% of Irish addresses are non-unique, which presents lots of difficulties in locating the correct premise. The variety of base maps and the specific Irish water locator offers a great assistance to the customer care agents in identifying the correct locations. Once the correct premise has been identified, the customer care agents can then raise a leak fix request and a team will be dispatched to fix.
Thanks, Dermot.
Thank you.
Irish Water is also just about to launch a new web-based GIS to provide members of the public with information on planned and unplanned works and issues in real time in their areas. This web service will be hosted on a public website, making it easy for everyone in Ireland to obtain information pertaining to their local area. Looking slightly further ahead, Irish Water expects to have the ability soon to tweet maps to its customers to show them the locations of emergencies, such as floods caused by leakages and service outages. And soon we will be using GIS to identify customers affected by these events. All of these uses of GIS and more are helping us to create positive customer experiences. The third benefit is strategic investment planning. You will recall that at the beginning of the presentation, and that's not in Roscommon, Jack. I told you about a dire water shortage impacting on the city of Dublin. Well, Irish Water is now using GIS to evaluate and plan a wide number of capital investment projects, including a water supply project for the Dublin region, which will see water extracted from the River Shannon. This project will ensure adequate water supply for the capital city without impacting negatively on local communities or the environment. GIS is also being used for a wide range of infrastructure planning tasks. It helps us to see where leaks and customer services issues occur most frequently and to identify the best places to target investment. It helps us to monitor the age of each section of pipe and consider the optimum replacement strategy. And it allows us to plan new infrastructure and optimize the routing for our pipelines. And it permits asset managers to edit asset records as our infrastructure evolves. With this intelligent strategic planning, we can minimize water wastage, eliminate water shortages, and deliver better water services for the people of Ireland. The fourth benefit that I'd like to highlight is the rapid rollout of water meters. You'll remember I told you about the ambitious project to roll out 1.05 million water meters to domestic properties across the country. Well, that project is now well underway and progressing very successfully. Here's how we use GIS to do it. Every address in the country is surveyed, and GIS is used to assess the suitability of each property for a water meter. 40 separate criteria are taken into account, from the condition of the nearest water stopcock to the depth of the service pipe. Then GIS is used to flag suitable properties and group them into work packages of around 1,000 in close proximity. These work packages are automatically transferred to Irish Water's work order management system, and crews are dispatched to the right locations with the appropriate equipment to carry out work. The government set us a target to install water meters at a rate of 27,000 per month. I believe that is the most challenging water metering programme in the world with regard to the rate of metering. And I'm pleased to say that this programme is currently on target. Irish Water have installed over 450 meters in 1,000 meters in less than 14 months. Indeed, we are putting water meters in the ground faster than our suppliers can deliver them to us. Since we started talking here this afternoon, over 100 water meters have been put in the ground, thanks to GIS. Finally, let's take a look at collaboration, a crucial requirement for our business success. Irish Water may have taken over responsibility for water services in Ireland from the 34 local authorities, but these councils still employ the teams of people who actually carry out the work on the ground to maintain and upgrade the water infrastructure. Every day, every hour, Irish Water has to communicate with these councils, explaining where and when work needs to be carried out, and collecting back new asset information. The collector application, which Dermot has already demonstrated, is essential to helping us to do this. In addition, Irish Water provides local authorities with a web-based GIS application, showing them the precise location of all water asset data, from entire sewer networks to individual water connection points. Using the web application builder, we've provided them with tools to continue to provide water services across the country and inform us when they come across data-related issues. 75 separate offices spread across the country now have access to this application, and we were able to roll it out to all of them without ever having to visit any of them. The relative ease of this application management is one of the greatest benefits to Irish Water from adopting the ArcGIS water utility platform. ArcGIS also helps Irish Water to collaborate with third parties. For example, we consume information from the Environmental Protection Agency into our GIS and push it out to local authorities. Dermot will now demonstrate the local authority web application and a typical workflow where a user is going to carry out work and is preparing a map in advance.
Thanks, Paul. So the final application today is the local authority application. This is used by the 34 local authorities, and like the customer care application, is deployed using the new ArcGIS web app builder. The local authorities use this application primarily to validate the Irish Water asset data, identify locations of work, print out maps if necessary, and provide feedback to Irish Water on any issues that have been identified. The user in this instance is planning on a site visit to the Letterfrack treatment plant in the west of Ireland. The local authorities have a shared ArcGIS Online group and sign in to access content. Once validated, they can access content not only for their own regions, but data for the entire country. This is new to local authorities, as previously they could only see data for their own regions. Like the customer care app, there are various methods for finding data of interest. In this demo, we're using the search by area to find the treatment plant in the west of Ireland. In this scenario, the user has a requirement to print off a map prior to going on site. The local authorities can select from a list of pre-configured map templates which output high-quality plots. While on site, should the local authority staff identify an issue with the asset data, then they can use the map change request to notify Irish Water. They can choose from a list of possible changes, like missing asset or incorrect attribute, and then describe the issue. In this instance, it's a missing sewer network. This change request is flagged with Irish Water staff, who will then begin an investigation into the report. Finally today, I will illustrate to you visual proof that Irish Water now has lots of data, starting from a base of absolutely none. I'm going to navigate to the Irish Water offices in Dublin City Centre, which will illustrate the quantity of data available.
Thanks, Dermot.
Thanks. Thank you.
So, Irish Water now has a fully functioning enterprise GIS that is enabling complex asset management strategies, speeding up operational workflows, helping customer care teams to deliver exceptional customer service, and allowing us to work collaboratively with 34 local authorities and other partners. If you take a look at this dashboard, you'll see that today so far there's been 106 users have logged in to utilise GIS performing their roles for Irish Water. For us, GIS is more than just maps. It's the system that drives everything else within our organisation, from the creation of work to operations to asset management and to customer care. We started with very little time, and we've achieved our deadlines comfortably, going live in just 8 months. We started with no data, and now we have a comprehensive geodatabase and GIS apps that underpin almost all of the processes within our new organisation. And we started with high expectations that we are now confident of meeting with our use of GIS. I can't tell you that that the Republic of Ireland is no longer facing a water crisis, because that wouldn't be true. There's a long way to go yet in ensuring that every household and every address in Ireland has access to unlimited, clean drinking water and reliable wastewater services. But I can tell you that the prospects are good. From a starting point of nothing, Irish Water has arrived, and it is equipped with the systems and business processes to make a difference to people's lives. GIS has played a huge part in that transformation. Thank you for listening.